Hey, there we go. Double clicking. So, hey, Tom Ginn here, G Force. Welcome today. G is for gratitude. I believe it's one of the most powerful words we can incorporate in our daily lives. And in my coaching, that's one of the things I really help people better understand that gratitude can is changes everything. So, no matter what their circumstances, from the littlest things, be grateful for all. Even the difficulties. I say that every day, but it does change your perspective. But it takes some work and it takes some belief and it takes some relearning to incorporate gratitude in all you do. Have that perspective. Changing that inner on you, in you, is so important. Gratitude. I am grateful for this day. I'm grateful for this moment. And today I just want to make sure that we are still on track. Make Friday, 1 p.m. Central, 2 p.m. Eastern, a priority for you because we're going to bring on a very special guest, an author, the author of this book, The Secret of Cold Calling Success. He's more than just an author. He's an international speaker. He's a business leader. He's president of the Star Group here in the Milwaukee area. He is a founder of Young Guns, an organization here in the Milwaukee area that's helping entrepreneurs, individual business owners change how they think to succeed in the long term. So he's a dynamic man. And I've worked with Paul, and he is phenomenal. He helped me craft my why in and around my coaching business. I was hiding behind those things that I was shameful of. In the programming that I had, it was limiting my success. Now, I've had success. I've also had a lot of failures. But the key to success is getting them off the ground, and which I've been very good at. But ever since I've gotten coaching, it has changed everything on how I operate. My belief systems changed. My self-image has changed because you can't outperform a belief and you can't outperform your self-image. See, my story, I grew up with parents that grew up in the Depression era, and they didn't have any solid belief around prosperity and money. It was always lack. And part of my story was my mother had 4 children before she was age 20. And my stepfather married my mother. And in conversations around in our household, it was always lack. It was never enough. We couldn't do that because there wasn't enough money. And I remember this one conversation that formed how I created my relationship with money. My stepfather made the comment, one of the reasons I married you, to make sure your children had a roof over their head, food on the table, and clothes on their backs. As a young person hearing that comment, I thought I was the reason for lack, and I owned that for years and years and years. And the other thing that formed how I operated and was afraid to share with people, my learning disabilities. I hid behind them. I was afraid to bring it out, and that held me back instead of being my authentic self. I have 2 learning disabilities, ADHD, and I tell you what, trying to read a book cover to cover is a big challenge. I have to eat it in chunks or by topics to be able to do that. I can't read a novel. It's really a hard thing for me to stay focused long enough from page to page to the end of the book. And it was always a challenge in my learning. And so that's one of the two. The other was audio dyslexia. Now, if you were working with me right now and I say, hey, give me your phone number or your email, you would probably think I'm not listening to you because I would say, could you repeat it again? And many times I wouldn't even bring it up and hope I got it right. I hear it, but I can't translate it on paper. It's an interesting way how my brain is wired with that. But I hid behind that, and it affected me in my school. And I just thought I wasn't smart as the other kids, and I had some situations in my school where my teacher would have me come up to the blackboard and I'd freeze, ask me to write a problem, write a sentence, and guess what? I couldn't do it. I'd just freeze, and it was frustrating for me, terrifying for me. But one day, Mrs. Woods, my teacher, lost it, and she said, Tommy, are you dumb or something? Guess what? That reaffirmed what I believed about myself, and I carried that for years. Those two things, a lack mentality, not a good relationship with money, and the two disabilities. Well, everything changed through perspective, through coaching, through mentoring, to reframe and change how we think. So the message here today is we all have a story, and we all have things that are holding us back. And how we change our thinking changes the results. And sometimes that's not an easy thing to do. And that's why coaching is so important. And understanding the power of gratitude, just understanding that principle and applying it in your life on a day-to-day basis in all circumstances helps you get through anything that's out there. So I just wanted to cover something, feeding your mind with good stuff. Now, what good stuff is, I'm not talking about reading a novel. That's good stuff. It's good entertainment. Maybe reading a history book that's going to give you knowledge, or reading books on how-tos and all that. But what I'm talking about, reading good stuff that's going to change who you are, how you think. I'm not here to preach or anything like that, but I do have a ritual that I go through that keeps me focused on with good positive energy. Well, I'm going to share with you, and as you can see, this book, it's quite used for the last 15 years or so. My wife and I, we read the daily quote in here. And we talk about it. And as I've been learning to be coached over these years, I found that truth is truth. And when we recognize truth against our false thinking, then and only then can we make the changes. And we have to tap in to a higher power. We need to tap in to a source of energy that brings us new awareness. And that's reading. Some people say read your scriptures. And I tell you what, the scriptures are the best personal development book ever written. Just take the religion thing out of it and really study what it's teaching. It's teaching you how to think in alignment with law and order. Some people call it God. Some people call it the universe. Some call it divine power. But everything operates by law. The universe operates by law. Our science operates by law. Our thinking operates by law. And when we understand it, and we understand this person that I covered here in a couple other talks, and we understand this is you, and this is how we learn to think and how to shift the negative thinking to the positive, then we are in thinking homeostasis. We're responding versus reacting. So I just wanted to introduce this book, and I encourage anybody that is into opening their day up with good, positive information, get this book by Emmett Fox, Around the Year. Around the Year. And every day there's some specific. Hey, Jamie. Thanks for jumping on. Good seeing you. Look forward to talking to you more about what you're doing with the solar industry. So I appreciate you jumping on here today. So, but going back to this book here is so important, and filling yourself up with good, positive information. And this morning, hey Diana, readers are leaders. You absolutely got that right. Now it depends what you read. It depends what you read. Again, thanks Jamie for being here today. So I just want to share something with you in and around this simple thing. Shack or palace. Shack or palace. And I'm just going to read this. Now, bear with me a little bit because I'm dyslexic and trying to read. I do have a little bit of issues there. So I hope I can get this out cleanly for you. Today's passage was this: there is no use in merely saying everything will be all right. Thinking rightly, of course, means putting God into all your affairs and expecting Him to change them. For example, if you're living in a shack, it is not any good pretending that it's a palace. Think about this for a moment. What are the illusions that you're telling yourself? Cheap optimism is never spiritual. Cheap optimism is never spiritual. Realizing that you are living in a shack, but claim the presence of God to guide you something better. See, sort of what I like to just say here is recognizing that we have infinite supply and infinite potential, and we can't say that living in a shack is okay when the universe and our God doesn't want us to live in a shack. But we can't say it's all right. All we have to do is proclaim that you're going to live in a palace. And believe that. And believe that. Because pretending that the shack is a palace isn't going to change anything. You have to realize that there's more for you, no matter what that palace means. More money, better home, better relationships, all those things. You can't say it's all right when in reality it's not. But you can change your frame of thinking and start recreating a palace for yourself. The palace within your thinking. Teach me thy way, O Lord, and lead me into a plain path. Psalms 27:11. So when we read these type of things, we can take them and we can say, okay, great. Most people read things but never study the words. Never study the words. Words have power. Words that you think in your mind also give you results in your life. So, if you're not satisfied where you are in anything that you're doing, you can't say everything's all right and think it's going to change. You have to change your thinking to an outcome that you seek. I call it vision and a belief. And then only then do things start changing. Don't kid yourself. When people say, how are you? And you say everything's good, in reality, it's not. You are setting yourself up for a spiral to stay in that cycle. It's better to fess up and tell those, I'm not doing good today. And here's why. You'll be surprised by releasing that, how the universe or how people may support you getting through whatever it is. Now, you got to be caught. You're not just going to go out up and down the street sharing, hey, I'm not doing good today. but with your spouse, your business partner, whatever. We need to understand what we think and what we say are important. You want a palace? Change your thinking. It isn't going to happen pretending. Okay. So anyway, I preached a little bit here today, but that wasn't my intention to do that. Yes, it was. Why am I kidding myself with that? But gratitude. Be grateful for the palace that you have, because you get a clear picture of what that palace is. And you can, if the palace you're in isn't what you want, the circumstance you want, you can change it by thinking. Gratitude will reframe and have you look at things differently. So, Wednesday. But we're coming up on Friday, G-Force Friday. I do not want you to miss out on this interview coming on Friday, 1 p.m. Central. You're going to be introduced to Paul Neuberger. He's going to approach a topic, making the impossible possible. He's the author of this book, The Secrets of Cold Calling. He's an international speaker. He's a president of a company here in Milwaukee called the Star Group. He's runs an organization called Young Guns, helping entrepreneurs and business people recognize how to make impossible possible in business through thinking. Tremendous man. He's been coaching with me. I've leaned into him, and it's amazing when you get coaches and mentors in your life, how you can accelerate where you want to go, how you can accelerate to get into that palace, how you can accelerate everything you're doing to get out of the shack, whatever that means. I call it being stuck. But you can't kid yourself that everything's fine when you're stuck. You can't do it. But there's some principles you can apply. Use gratitude, and it shames everything else. Wow, we got a number of people here. Hey, Lynn, thanks for jumping on. Hey, I really appreciated being, featuring my little video with Ken today, and that was so exciting. Seeing, giving back, givers gain, and Ken Walls is by far anybody I see that's succeeding and getting through trials and tribulations and doing significant things in their lives, whether it be in business or in their community, they're givers. They're givers. Givers gain. And we're not talking about give something with expectation to get something in return. We just give without any expectations. So, thanks, Lynn. Thanks, Lynn. Thanks, Jamie, for being here. Thanks, Diana. Awesome lady, Diana, one of my business associates, jumped on. But, givers gain. But Friday, 1 p.m., 2 p.m. Eastern, jump on. Turn on your notifications. This will be a special treat for you. You'll come away with some deep and better understanding, hopefully, in referencing a different way to approach how to get through the impossible to the possible. So, we are an awesome tribe. Grow Live Academy. We just want more people in it. The more people we bring in here, we all have gifts and talents we can take to the world with what we do. And we got to put it out there. This is the wave of communication, having your own platform to share, because everybody here has something that they can give to improve somebody's life. See, my mission in life is, my legacy is that I've left people in a better place instead of having my ego in the way. And I'm going to cover ego in another lesson again, because it is either destructive or creative. So that's a whole different talk. So Jump on. Friday, 1 p.m. Central. Paul Newberger. You're going to have a good time. With that all said, God bless everybody. I'm so grateful for this moment and opportunity. But ask yourself, don't kid yourself. If you live in a shack, you're stuck, you're hurting, don't claim that you're living in a palace. It's okay to recognize you're hurting and you're stuck. Because when you own that, you're in a position with gratitude to be able to change your thinking to move into the palace. With that all said, have a great day. See you tomorrow. And we're out. Tom Ginn, G-Force. Gratitude, one of the most powerful words you can incorporate in your life.